The last few weeks have produced some of my favorite images. But why? Well, it's pretty simple. I changed my approach to all things photography related from why to why not. Now, this is pretty cliche. We've all heard this before, but let me explain. Tell me which one of these sentences actually sounds like growth. Why would I want motion blur in my images? Or why not make some images with motion blur? That's so simple, right? That is so obvious. Which one is a positive look, an optimistic look at what I'm doing? But it's that shift that it was like an avalanche of creativity and optimism and motivation and inspiration just from that simple shift. What does this have to do with the video today? Well, I was also cleaning out some of my photography cupboards and reorganizing stuff, and I found this, my INSTAX square link printer. So I've had this for about a year, I want to say, and the reason I haven't used it as much is because last summer I picked up the Ricoh GR IIIx. So I was excited about this focal length and understanding this camera and getting all that I could, all the benefits that I could from this camera. So I kind of lost focus on this. So that got me thinking. I love the colors that the INSTAX produces, the Fujifilm INSTAX. And I already love how the Ricoh colors come out, even when I'm using my recipes or if I'm just shooting straight out the camera. What would happen if I use them together? These images printed on this paper, what would happen? What would things look like? And so here we are today with this video. So the formula would be simple. Ricoh's colors using my recipes and the colors that come out of the Fujifilm. And so the cherry on top, I get to have tangible prints of my own work in my hands. And we all know that if you print your work, it's going to grow your work. You're going to get better. You can only get better if you can study and touch your own work. It's not the end all be all. It's not the only way to print. I actually did another video on printing our work. But it's an instant way to say, man, I am going down the right path. Maybe I should do more of this or less of that. All because I decided to be curious about my own photography. I love it. So that's what I'm going to be doing. Over the last few days, I was shooting different types of weather, overcast. I got a little bit of sun, different angles, perspectives, trying some of those techniques, ICM, different situations. When you challenge yourself, the growth is there, whether it's right away or over time, or when you look back and reassess, it's only a win for everybody. And I'll give you a few tips how to use the INSTAX real quick and how to print out your images, and hopefully you get the results that you are looking for. Let's go. All right, so first things first, download that app, turn on your square link. You see that? Just press that button in the middle, okay? And we're doing that so that when we connect the Bluetooth, it's gonna be ready, it's gonna read it right away. So let's look for the app, Square Link app. I have it here. It was looking for it. It's asking me, do I wanna disconnect, connect? It's already connected. Done. All right, so make sure you do that first, Bluetooth. So the next step, or the most important step, is to go to the top right. There's a wagon wheel there. Now, the second thing down says there, print mode options. So why are we going there? By default, it's on the INSTAX rich mode. And then you have the other option, which is the INSTAX natural mode. So you decide what kind of look do you want. The natural mode is more of a faded look or desaturated look, I guess is a better word. And then the INSTAX rich mode is warmer. From my testing and my experience, I feel like it's the better mode. So I just press OK. And now you're back to this main page. Don't worry about all these other features that they have at this moment. Right now, what we want to do is basically go to simple print. You're going to go through your albums and decide what image you want to upload. So mine's in downloads, and I'm going to go to one of my most recent here is of the car. All right, so I chose this photo because naturally there's a lot of colors going on, and it's going to show results that I can clearly see a difference. So on the bottom row, you have 5 options. That text sticker, not gonna mess with that. Edit, in the middle you have to print. I'm not gonna press it because then it will print. And then there's filter, and then there's correction. So if we go to edit first, this gives you the option to zoom in and out, which is pretty cool. You can do it by hand by pinching, and then just press those 2 arrows on the right if you want to reset it. Now I'm going to reset the top. This is how my image is going to look. Let's go to our next option, which is filters, none, monochrome, sepia tone, and auto. What you see on the screen is an illuminated screen, so naturally it's going to look perfect. But when you print, that's a whole different thing. That's just the chemicals and how the film is translating your colors. So keep that in mind, all right? Which leads us to our last feature, which is correction mode. This is great if you want to just mess around with your brightness as much as you want, contrast as much as you want or as little, and saturation, okay? You can even make it black and white at the end of the day, okay? You can do all the things. It's pretty cool. You don't need more than that. So just reset it, and I'm going to print rich auto, and then I'm going to print natural auto. And this is pretty straightforward. You just press the print button. And so now it's going to print. And then here it comes. As you can see, it's coming out. Keep it face down, keep it warm. Okay, so we're done rich mode, so let's go into natural mode. Let's see, is it ready? Yes, it's on natural, perfect. We go home, select the image that we want, go to downloads. I'm gonna go here, select that same image, and filter, I'm putting it on auto. It's ready. Tap that middle button, which is print, and we're good to go. I love it. And then you just keep going back and testing and trying. The more you understand the colors that are coming out of the Fuji INSTAX, the less disappointed you are when you're bringing your images over. So hopefully that tutorial was helpful. Now you know what to do, so let's get to the streets and see how some of these images looked once I printed them out. Okay, so same idea, out of a cool scene right here. A white school bus, which is not as common as the orange or yellow bus. Same settings apply. Time for some compositions, and then we're gonna test it after, all right? Let's get these done. That's nice. Straight at the camera. All right. Now let's look for something that we actually like. Okay, looks like I got my shot set up. Because I'm shooting in square and on the 40 mil, it is already a tight fit. So it's an overcast day. We'll see what the colors do. I'm gonna go around and shoot some other stuff in color. So let's get to it. First, we got to get a composition that we like. And since I can't go wide because it's a 40, I'll show you my examples in a sec. Just give me a second. Let's just quickly look at that. Can you even see that? Let's see, there. That's the composition. I wish it was this. Look how beautiful that is. But this is my composition here. All right, so let's go through some of the findings that I experienced while using the GR IIIx and the INSTAX Square Link printer. So we'll start with saturation. Now, overall, there wasn't as much of a pop when it translated to film, but it was warmer and more nostalgic and rich. All right, so what else did I write here? Oh yes, highlights. More muted even when turning on the auto setting. So the highlights, again, I think what I'm seeing is when you are shooting digital, you have a illuminated screen, okay? The light is coming off of your phone. So naturally, you're seeing everything at its brightest point. It's almost like perfection for your eyes. But when you print it off, there's going to be a little bit of a difference. And I actually liked what the film produced. And I had it on auto, I told you, because I felt that when I put the highlights up, I was basing it off of how it's going to look on my screen as opposed to how it's going to look when I print it. Okay, so let's keep moving here. Shadows, as expected, muddy, touch darker, some detail loss. So you're going to lose some details in the shadows, it's to be expected, but nothing disappointing. Again, it's a small little square, 3000 by 3000 in terms of pixels on the Ricoh GR IIIx. And then we're here with 800 pixels by 800 pixels on the INSTAX. So you can kind of tell right away that, yeah, you're going to lose some quality, some detail, but in a good way. Can I say in a good way? I think so. And so what did I put for sharpness here? Okay, yeah, softer than the original, but clarity was still high. If you've ever shot on like the INSTAX Wide 300 or the INSTAX Mini, both of which I own, you're going to lose some sharpness. Doesn't matter how, if you have it on infinity, 3 feet. I have never shot and had it super sharp, but that's part of the feel that you get with INSTAX. It's not disappointing. None of these settings are disappointing. Saturation, highlights, shadows, sharpness, none of this was a disappointing feel overall. It's just different than the images that you shot originally from your digital camera. So just keep that in mind. So that's as technical as I'll get. For me, the combination of inspiration, motivation, optimism, and infinite creativity, that was on 10. And it was a few factors that worked together to get me to feel that way. So shooting on square format with a tight focal length like the 40mm, remember I'm shooting in camera at 40mm in square. So my eye is seeing all of this, but this is really what I'm shooting. So that forced me to look for better scenes or create new perspectives because of this tight focal length. So there was so much excitement. It was like the first time shooting. That's what it felt like when I was going through that process. Oh, actually, I didn't even really talk about it. You can actually buy these in black and white, but I thought that was limiting because then all my images have to be in black and white. So what I did was I ended up grabbing some color, okay? And then, yeah, translating it to black and white, okay? This is what I saw, this is what I shot, and it looks exactly like I wanted it to look. No surprises here. Anyways, I recommend, just to save a few bucks, grab a color stack of INSTAX, and then, yeah, they'll be in black and white, so just print it. You don't have to put any filters or anything on it unless you want, but print them out. They also come out dope. Remember, in general, there's a gloss, there's a shine on, these are not matted. That would take it to the next level, right? But I don't think you can do that. I don't think you can do that, but these are all glossy. Take that into consideration when you are printing your work. But these moments are pretty special in terms of tangibly having images that I've loved for some time that finally get a permanent home. So there you have it. You can shoot it for real, you can print it, you can translate it from your recipes. You know what I mean? You can just get creative and stop putting these mental constraints on yourself. Taha and people out there in the world. All right, let's just go out there, have some fun. I hope you enjoyed this. And you know what? I'm gonna give away 3 prints to 3 different people. You let me know why you enjoyed whatever image you saw on screen, and I will pick the 3 best answers, I don't know, and I'll ship that out to you, okay? Hopefully you don't live super far where I have to do $1 billion in shipping, but it's a little thank you for watching these videos. I appreciate it. So yeah, let me know what you like, and I'll go by your answers, and then I'll send 3 of these out. Until the next video,